It's time. See that rubber gasket? Fuel bowl. It's leaking. You can smell it. I'm also going to tell you about this carburetor because that is the #1 question on every forum. All about it, how it works. Well, when my scooter start, I pulled out of a barn for 15 years, and I think I can just put gas in it. No, you can't. Step 1, side covers. Boom, 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 boom. This front cover off, and then the bumper. Boom, boom. I like to take the whole seat off. It's just always in the way. I don't even have to separate these, really. In one unit. First time for that. Okay. Okay, up until now, all you needed was 10 millimeters for here, Phillips, and a regular screwdriver. So, getting in deeper, we're gonna need this hose clamp and the light here. Phillips, get that off. There's one on the back side as well. And then I think we have 1 fuel line, 2 vacuum lines. I'm gonna pull this thing right out of there. And one more thing is the throttle. That's your set screw. And then you gotta slip the cable off of the throttle right there. You have to open the throttle and that barrel comes right out. See if I can show you that. You had a good angle, so yeah, I loosen that. That's just gonna come out like that. Probably can just leave it out of the way. I'm not gonna get that. I'm gonna get the clamp on the back. I'll loosen that. And I'm gonna go to the other side and get the fuel line. This might be different because this is California emissions. I don't know if this is oil breather here is part of that. And I have an inline fuel filter. Highly recommend you get that. Maybe I'll get you a part number or a link to that. But I have one of these clamps right here down at the carburetor, which is right there. See it? So we're gonna get that. It's not a lot of tension because it's just gravity fed. And that's only coming out what's in the, from here, or from the tank down. The way this works is when you crank, I think it's this vacuum line here from the carburetor, opens up the petcock basically, and what fuel flows. It's that simple. All right, and then they have one other line here. This looks like vacuum, but I believe it's coolant. Don't quote me yet, but I think there's only 2 vacuum lines on this whole rig. Yeah, see, that's coolant. Green came out, and it's so that they run a little bit of coolant through the carburetor, probably to help warm it up. It's usually what they do in stupid things. All right, now if I twist the throttle, you can see that opens up. If I hold the cable while I do that, I should be able to take it off. Let's see how we can do this. I just want to get slack on it so I can take it off right there. If I hold that, push down on the cable, and then grab it maybe. It's starting to twist open again. So I gotta reach up, twist it, and oh, it's coming. Oh. It wants to come. I'll get my finger in there. I don't really want to tweak the cable too much because you can get kinks in it and stuff. So there we go. Boom. And then I still have to do the nut. Just crack it loose. So can you see that in there? Where's the nut come down? Right here. I can't really see it. Get it back right there. So I can either crack this side with the right tool, which is a needle nose. No, this is the wrong tool. It looks like a 13 millimeter. Yeah. But just crack it because you don't want to go out of adjustment. I mean, you can always do it later, but I'll back it off a little bit. But I do know that that's the one I touched. Right? Am I going to be able to slide this out? I could be wrong here. Oh no, they want you to take off the front one so that you can slide the cable through this slot. Okay. Do I even need to do this? Let me think about this. Yeah, I guess you do. Alright, so I'm going to tighten this back up. And loosen the other one all the way. Alright, do I want to loosen it all the way? Let's see, I'll go like that. Not a big deal to adjust this afterwards. They go out of adjustment anyway. Let's spray this with some WD-40 before you start too. It might be a lot more crustier than this one. This California bike, but it's get a little corrosion in here. I noticed from sitting around here in New England. It's very different than Old England, you know. We're not under the British rule. Oh wait, we kind of, you know, we're running away from that. How'd that work out? All right, there we go. Boom. And I think still gotta find the vacuum lines. I still haven't seen them, but maybe just getting the carb, working it out will be easier to find them. I think this is one right here. All right, now I'm on the back side. See this rubber between the carburetor and the intake? These are very prone to cracking. You're probably gonna need a new one, no matter what you get for a scooter. I think they're still available aftermarket of some sort. But this is where a little silicone spray would come in handy. It wasn't so far away. And by far away, I mean 10 feet to the garage. But all right, there we go. And this is a vacuum line right here. I'll show you where that goes once I weasel this thing off. You definitely don't have a vacuum leak here. Sheesh. Alright, so you only have one, maybe two vacuum lines on this whole scooter, okay? This is your intake to the engine, so that's making vacuum. So that is a vacuum line. It goes up this diaphragm on the carburetor, so we're just going to disconnect it down here because that part is staying. This is going with us. It's a standard vacuum line, I would think. Get it at the auto parts store. It's probably a metric size. Don't use washer line. It's got to be vacuum line. Vacuum line is made to not compress because it's being suction. And fuel line, any other washer line is made to not expand because it's pumping fluid through it. Gavish? All right, there's one other thing. This is your bi-starter, this black cylinder device. Basically a choke for the vehicle meaning the scooter. But there's an electric line coming up over here with a connector. Is the connector there, or no? I think the connector is down in front here. Yeah. All right, let me zoom out. Sorry. All right, here's the connectors. Two wires, red and yellow, or yellow and green. Those are bullet connectors. Don't pull on them like I'm doing, and we're gonna take them off. I think we're ready. I'm just gonna flex this out of the way. There's got to be one more vacuum line for the fuel petcock I was talking about, which opens up the fuel, let it flow. It's got to be on this side here somewhere, I think. All right, you're going to come out this way. There's another coolant line there, it looks like, too. This is how it comes out. Just my cable's in the way. Cable, all this stuff, this thing. Yeah, this is another coolant line, because that was that one coolant line we took off. It's going down to something. We'll take it off right now. Looks like it could use a new clamp, a little rusty. This thing actually did get rusty in California because it was under tarp. If you store one of these, anything, don't put it under a tarp because it doesn't breathe. It just traps moisture, and then you get rust like that. Put it under anything else, cotton towel, old bed sheet. All right, so there's that by starter. All right, here's the other vacuum line. The other side, that was that hose that was going down, and this is the other one. So that's vacuum, these two. One to the inlet, that rubber inlet, and this was going up to the fuel petcock. That's simple. These, check these for cracks. These will give you poor running. Again, it's just vacuum line. It's probably, that looks automotive size. I don't think there's any different size between vacuum line is vacuum line. There's another one. This is vacuum going carburetor to this diaphragm. You should have a Keihin carburetor. This is a factory Japanese, way better than any Japanese or Chinese one you're going to buy. So if you have one of these and you're not using it, send it to me. I don't know why you're not, but I'll show you why people get rid of them. You can see this is where my bowl is leaking. This is where all the fuel sits, and it shouldn't be leaking when it's sitting because it's not that high, but I think that's after I ride it, I smell it. But we're going to take this inside so we can get a little cleaner. Again, I'll show you that rubber diaphragm between the carburetor and the intake. That is what cracks. Make sure this is in good shape. I mean, it could look good, and you just gotta flex it and see if it's cracked here. I'm gonna look at the light here. I've replaced this one, so it should be good, but they definitely crack for running conditions. All right, let's turn this into a trash can rebuild. Make sure you have a proper screwdriver. These are, I think they're number 2 screws. Phillips, there's all sorts of size of Phillips. So you got to make sure you have a good one that really fits perfect, because these things are tight. You don't want to strip that off whatsoever. That fits pretty good, but I think this other one is the one. Yeah, that fits really good. See the head on that? It doesn't have a, just says it's a CRVPZ2. I don't know. I didn't know there were numbers. I thought there was like JIS for Japanese. I don't know. You will tell me. I think somebody already did tell me. They told me, yeah, see, that's going to strip. That doesn't fit very good. This one, very prone to stripping. Yeah, see, that's too loose. This has always been my good go-to set, too. Now it's super tight. I'm sure I tightened it. That one fits nice. This one says also number 2. I don't know if it's the same one. Oh, just gonna really push down. I like impact drivers, which are nice. Looks like this size, you hit it, and as you hit it, it spins. It's a good tool to have. I think it's actually the first tool I ever bought for, I was working on cars, rusty cars. And if you don't have a torch to heat things up, that's the next best thing, an impact screwdriver. See if I can find one, I'll put a link. All right, so this is upside down. This is the bowl taken off here. 4 Phillips. Really good screwdriver, otherwise you will strip these and It sucks. I suppose you could cut them off and get new ones, but as you can see, I spilled fuel everywhere already because there was fuel in here. You can drain it right here. That's a drain, and that hose stayed on the bike. Let's see, there's supposed to be a gasket there, but it is non-existent. I used a non-hardening sealer because something happened to my gasket. It was ripped, but it worked for quite a while. But we got to clean all that up. Your bowl, if this bike sat for any amount of time, it's going to be full of old fuel. You cannot keep fuel in a motorcycle when you store it. The only way you can do that is if you fill it with fuel stabilizer, mix it in the gas, run it, shut it off, store it that way. And even still, you might have some stuff in here because the new fuel it's good for a month maybe. It's awful. There's your float. It's gonna, that tiny little needle up in there is what, so your fuel level will be like there. As it needs fuel, it goes up into the carburetor basically. If that's leaking, you're gonna have fuel running out these lines, all sorts of fuel issues. So if you've got a bike that's in storage, you got to take it apart. You got to clean this. And then your jets are under here. Up here, there's a diaphragm too. You can see the piston right there. That's also rubber. There's a rubber vacuum diaphragm up there that runs that. I don't think I have that in my kit, so I'm not going to take it off, but those are prone to, it's also rubber, prone to cracking and leaking, giving you running problems. These are most common to fail. This is your high idle. This is they call it a bi-starter. It's just a needle that gives you a high idle when I think it gets power right away, so it closes probably. And then you get rich fuel and your idle comes up. As it warms up, this gets the power in there. It warms up, it opens, the idle comes down automatically. Your bike doesn't do that. That's bad probably. Just get one. They're like 12 bucks. Yeah, these carburetors are way better than the Chinese knockoffs. And, you know, if you're just replacing it it's because it's dirty. It's because you're not cleaning it. So it's, you know, it's a quick, easy fix, but I'd rather have this. You know, a million miles, these seals in here would wear out. But these bikes don't see a million miles in the US anyway. But let me show you these. I think I'll take this float off because the pin is already falling out. Let's see if I can, just gonna roll this. No edit. Let me get pliers. This is all the stuff that people ask me, or they ask. Somebody's asking me about, should I use starting fluid to get this thing started? Well, no, because you have an issue. You got to fix the problem. And right here, this little rubber seat, it probably won't focus, but that gets dirty, they get old and torn, and then you get fuel issues. Again, these are real tiny regular head screwdrivers. Let's see if we have one. I can get this one probably. It's got to fit. See, it's not going down in there. I wouldn't even try it. That's going to strip. You got to get one that seats all the way down in there. That is the issue with working on carburetors. You've got to have the right tools, basically. And they're not that hard tools. They're just basic, you know, the right Phillips heads, the right blades that fit in there. Let's see if I got another one. Like a set of these would come in. Nice, thin and narrow. Let's see if we can get, I think this one would be better. It's 3/16. Again, this is Japanese, it's all metric stuff, so there's probably a metric equivalent, even though it's just a flat blade. I'm a lefty, I don't want to strip this. Oh, that was nice. All right, so this is one of your jets. When they say, these are what get plugged with bad gas, dirt, you name it. And that's a jet. It has a small pinhole down the middle there. And you should be able to see daylight through there. Right? You can see it right there. You can clean it out with maybe a paper clip. Usually it's smaller. Mine's working fine, so I'm not going to clean it, but small wire cleans that out. So that is, I don't know if that's your... Okay, so there's one there, and then this comes off too. This is the emulsion tube, I believe it's called. I don't think this is advisable. Yeah, there we go. That was good. Sometimes this stuff is really, really tight, and it's just brass and aluminum. So yeah, this is an emulsion tube. There are pinholes in the side of this. Also, you should see daylight. Actually, don't see daylight through them all. But it could be just fuel, not dirt. Yeah, now I see. Let's see if we can see that through the camera. Yeah, there's daylight through all those. And obviously down the middle should be daylight. And down the bottom there, oh, that's where this pin is coming from, this diaphragm. And that's coming down in here, and that's regulating. So we know that's good. We can shoot some carb clean in there. I'll pull this to the side. And again, I'm going to go for this other jet. One's the main jet, one's the other jet. I can't think. Idle jet? Idle circuit? No. I don't know. I'll look it up. I can't think right now. I just want to get you guys, show you guys how it's done. And this is another emulsion tube. This one's got these are numbered 35, so that has probably the hole down the middle, I believe. That one's super small. So again, there should be daylight through the sides and daylight down the middle, but it's a super small hole. And if you think about it, yeah, see, it's tiny. That's how fuel is atomized and goes through your carburetor. It's that small of a port. So when you're bombing down the freeway, oh, the side roads, this is not a freeway bike really. Those are your main culprits. So those get plugged, bowl, and then you have your idle adjustment. Idle adjustment here. But the air screw I just saw on this side is this one. These, that can get dirty too. And that has a certain amount of turns on it. Let's pull it out. This is good fitting. I'm gonna count how many times this comes around. Let's put my thumb there. Actually, I'll go in. This will be the top right here. So if I think it's in 1.5 turns. 1. That's 2, right? 2 and a quarter, I would say. So 1, 2, out. Yeah, but we're just going to take it out. All right, so 2 1/4 from all the way in. It's a good base setting to you start from. All right, that comes out. And it's just the tiniest of needle. There at the end, you can see there's like some, it's just staining. It's not dirty, but I'll go get some carb clean and clean that up in there and here. Other than that, that is the most confusing device to everybody on the internet. That's your carburetor. Your float can be adjusted, the height, and that is done. Actually, I don't think you can adjust it on this because it's all plastic. These can crack. You know, if this had fuel in it, it means it's not floating anymore. The kit did come with another one. The kit came with everything actually, but these are not, you know, again, Japanese parts. They might not be. I may have done this already, but I'm not use these jets. I'll probably just keep everything I got because I don't have an issue. I just want this bowl gasket. All right, so I'm gonna get some carb clean and clean it up. I gotta clean all that surface off there, all that silicone and crap. I'm gonna have to get a little scrub brush for that. Go down there. there. All that area, the intake, that throat. This is all crap from that gasket material, or it was, what do they call it? It's like silicone sealer number 4. It's a non-hardening. I don't know if it's number 4. It's number something, number 2. This says right on it, non-hardening, and it works as a gasket, believe it or not. Look at how dirty that was. Put up in the bowl, nice and clean. Or up in the body, this is the bowl. We'll take that bit, go around this gasket. This is where that rubber gasket's got to sit. We want it nice. Why are there flies all over my workbench? Oh, that's right, because it's a trash can. It's full of cat litter and food and whatever else my neighbors got going on. Could be a body in here right now. I'm not joking. I have not seen her in 3 days. Nah, I'm joking. They're upstairs laughing at me right now for talking to myself. Like, he's down there talking to a camera. Oh, see all that crap I just dropped in there? Still in there. Now, leave that upside down. Clean that guy off. Again, he was good. Put him back. Take that bit I had. Tighten it down. Did I lose anything? Did the spring fall off of it? What am I doing wrong? Anybody catch that? Appears to be. Oh, there's a washer. Oh, Jesus. Didn't even see that. I think that washer, yeah, because it protects the spring down in there. So that's important. All right, I'll try and do it this way. Worst rebuild guy ever. Now, let's see if this can tighten up now. What's going on? There we go. Now I feel it. Just finger tight, you know, because we're gonna take it 2 1/4 turns, we said. Oops, it just slipped off. Hold on. All right, let's get it right. Where are you? All right, right there, facing me. I'm gonna go 1, 2. Only when the camera's running, people. Only when the camera's running. All right, let's start up like this. It'll be easier. 1, 2 1/4. Jesus. All right, now we got our tubes to put back in. They were clean, but I'll do that anyway. It's going down in there. Again, not tight. I take this because I have good feel. Tight enough. That simple. Which one went where? I believe this one went down there, right? This guy went up there, yeah. I'll have to rewind the video if I really want. Again, these don't have to be really tight. But seat them. You got a really good screwdriver. You don't have to go seated. Not even up of a turn. This one's clean. Ideally, you know, you'd be on a workbench, nice clean surface, but you gotta do what you gotta do, folks, right? Same thing, this one barely tightens. lefty, I want to use my left hand. Yeah, just it's brass. Brass is very fragile stuff. My needle and seat. I clean down in the needle. I can look down in there. It's gonna sit down in there. Oops, it came off the clip. Let me show you that. This clip is got just some simple, just slides on there. Hope everyone can see that. And pin usually only goes one way. But this one just seems to, it can't fall out because it'll hit the side of the bowl. So now I say it's not adjustable because typically these are metal tang, and that'll give you the adjustment of the height. So there's no way that plastic, you can't bend plastic to get the height adjustment. And again, this is because it's Japanese. It's awesome. You don't need to adjust it, okay? If this was the Chinese one, you probably will. Just saying, their standards are not the same. Think of it this way. Who do you want making your parts? Japanese businessmen, when they fail the company, they jump off a building, kill themselves. Shouldn't say that. Do you think a Chinese worker's doing that? No. They're just slapping this stuff together. And, yeah, that's my 2 cents. All right. Got that as good as I'm going to get it, I think. This kit came from Wind Cycles, I believe it is. They're not cheap. I mean, they used to be cheap, like everything. I think it's like 50 bucks now, but you do get a new float and jets and all the good stuff. Even that little thing I didn't take. Oh, that's for the, yeah. I think I already took that off. So, but this will come out and be all disfigured, and well, that's why I think I wasn't able to get it on my last one. I didn't feel like doing this. There we go. Not so bad. That was better. And the other last one I got was round. I think it was rolled up in a ball. But you can see it sits down in there. There's not much of a seal. So I'm going to put it on dry. Maybe a little silicone spray, just so we don't have an issue. Just a little, I mean, on my finger. Just keep it from sticking, too. Alright, everything should be back together, tight. The rooster says, yep, do it, Mike. Screws are decent. And that one looks bent. I don't think that's possible, though. All right, tighten this up and away we go. Up in the factory, I believe this cap that there's a cap in this kit. There's a little, yours probably isn't open like this. There probably was a rivet there, and you got to drill it out to get to adjust this. They want that factory set, allegedly, and that's an emissions thing probably back in the day, but you can adjust it. So you may have to drill that out. It's just a cap. You're drilling out the cap and then the screws way down in there. Not necessary, but if yours doesn't look like this, that's why. That's it. One Keihin Japanese carburetor rebuild. That's all they mean when they say a rebuild, is cleaning, throwing in new jets, emulsion tube, maybe a float, but that's all there is to it. The diaphragm doesn't come in the kit. That's separate. I'm not sure if you can get that. Well, it's got to be out there, but you know what I mean. Hard to find. Okay, before we go any further, let's check our work. So we're all back together. We've got fuel coming down. It's plugged up. This is our harness for our bi-starter. Actually, this also goes over here too, doesn't it? Yeah. put everything back where it was, you know. This was a pain to get back on, but I got it on. The silicone spray all over everything ain't gonna hurt. Keep everything moist. That's the way I like it. All right, let's give it a, let's watch that fuel start. Get a focus. That's funny, it wasn't even fuel in the carb. Fuel cap in case I don't have a good flow. Did I get that vacuum line back on for the carburetor? Put that one there. Did I did I do the thing you guys always ask me and reverse these? I did, see? Oh, this funky clamp goes up top. Like I said, see, that's why it's good to video this. I went back and looked, and making sense. Yes, this is a vacuum port. Of course it needs vacuum. What did I do? I had this one coming off of this. Is that coolant? Was I just sucking in coolant? Yeah, this is coolant. So I had the vacuum hooked up to a coolant port. Oh boy. All right, let's try that. Silly Michael. All right, should see fuel there now. Chasing my tail over here, and I never put this vacuum line on, which is where all the main vacuum comes from. I'm over there, I ain't getting fuel. Why aren't I getting fuel? Because it's not getting vacuum. I'm so fucking dumb. Alright, let's try that again. I'm like, what can I possibly do? Come on, baby. Now she's flooded, probably. Oh, for crying. Whew, alright. I think it was that air bleed screw that we did 2.5 turns out, 2 1/4. I think I just came out a little bit more and she started right up. Well, let's see. I just gotta put the boot back on there. See, the idle came down, so that was that by starter. We know that's working, the cold start. All right, back together. Let's check our work. All our vacuum lines are hooked back up correctly. Make sure you do that right. All right. Good to me. All right, that's that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I made mistakes, okay? I may leave the edit in there. I probably will, because I hooked up the vacuum from the fuel pipe to one of the coolant lines. It was bent, looked like it went right there. But let's go, I'll show you the manual here. Another thing you guys should have, you gotta have a manual for these things. You gotta have a manual for everything. All right, so there is a good picture of where vacuum comes from, that little diaphragm. They call it an air cutoff valve. So there's a way to test that. So vacuum, one line goes to the rubber boot here, which I forgot left off. And then one goes to, oh yeah, up to the fuel petcock. So that's that. There's your auto buy starter, they call it. That's that cold start choke solenoid basically. And you can inspect it, blah, blah, blah. Just replace it. I think they've come with an updated one. Removal, a drain screw. I think this was supposed to be a hose. I didn't see mine. I wonder if it fell off. Or, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's just a drain. It's only there when you open that up. So, what else? Yeah, see, this is the cover I didn't take off. There's a spring, a diaphragm, a piston right here, diaphragm. It's a nice material. I don't know if mine's been updated or something, but they do get old and crack, allegedly. Depends how many miles you got on this thing, too. So this is the pilot screw that you have to drill out, I was saying. And I just had to adjust mine to get it to start. It's factory preset, and that should be moved. Cover opening, had the center punch, 4mm, This, I think it does your air. Let's see. Yeah, self-tapping screw. Turn it, count the number of turns. Yeah, doesn't tell you. I think if you go on to one of the forums, it tells you a good reference to start at. And I think we were at 2 1/4, and I feel like sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I think I came out a little bit, and then the thing started. So I'm going to look up that, see what's the best way to set it. Float arm pin, yeah, I don't think it's adjustable. We did all this. Okay, so the smaller one, the one up top, is the main jet. The slow jet is the lower one. So slow jet tells me slow speed too. So if you got running conditions, your main jet's probably going to be on the highway. A lot of people complain about it's got no power. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how that goes. And then needle jet, slow jet, yeah, the main jet. There's a needle jet down the bottom. Did we take that out? I think we did. Yeah, we did. We did the main. This one, I don't think we ever took that needle jet out. Again, I had no running conditions, so I was okay, but you may have to do that. Again, that's rebuilding a carburetor. It's cleaning, basically. You may have to replace some of these things that are cracked, worn, whatever. Again, all right, so there's a float level. You can inspect it. Yeah, just replace it. Doesn't say you can adjust it. Replace the float level. All right, pilot screw adjustment. Okay, here it is. Okay, so I have an 85, 2 turns out. After 85, 1 3/8 out. This is for emissions, I believe. Runs how lean it is. And basically, yeah, I was listening to the idle and see how it adjust. Get a good idle when you're adjusting it. Initial setting prior to final. Okay, yeah, and you got to warm the engine up too. I don't think I did that, so I'll do that. Get it warm. High altitude adjustment for the main jet. We're not in high altitude where I am, but you may have to do that. You can change it to a 95. Standard is a 100. What else? Fuel valve, we did that. Fuel strainer cleaning. There's a strainer up in there. This is it on the end of the petcock. I also have an inline filter, which I recommend too. See if I can find a little link to some of those, because they're real small. I guess that's it. I'm getting into fuel tank stuff, which these are gold. If you have one, don't throw it away. I don't care how rusty it is. You pour some sealer in there, they make a sealer, and keep it. These are non-existent. Unobtainium, all right? And run an air cleaner. You can't run an open carburetor. You're just going to suck in dirt, and you're not cool, man. An open element, it changes everything. Like you got to adjust the carburetor, and you may have to change the jets, because you're changing the whole plumbing of the scooter. It's amazing. Even exhaust, like if you change the exhaust to something free flowing, no, you're the same thing. You're changing stuff that wasn't meant to be. All right, hope this one helps, because there's a lot of questions on carburetors, and I just wanted to answer them, because every time I open a forum or YouTube, it's always a question. So I hope that helps. I went in depth and long and blah, 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 but I hope it helps somebody, and give me a likes and comments and subscribes and shares and all that stuff, and maybe I don't know. Thanks, guys. All right.